And press stop again. Beautiful. Everyone can see that. Okie doke. Hello. There we go. Okay. Hey everybody, I'm Dan, and I think like maybe in February or something, I did this weird little showcase of a work in progress thing that I was calling like Porter for Hire at the time. Still very work in progress. Haven't done like a ton on it since February, but got a couple updates along the show. So like quick general recap of the idea is basically you're in like a D&D kind of world, but you're not a fighter yourself. And so you're just really good at carrying things. So basically you're hired by actual adventurers to just carry all of their loot as they go through dungeons and stuff like that. And you think it's a great idea because you don't have to fight anything. But the problem is in this world, everything is a mimic. So if it's on the ground, it's going to try to kill you. And you can't fight, so the only thing you can do is hold them, and then they'll fight for you. So that's kind of the basic gist, and we'll go through it quickly again as we get started here. So basically, in this version, you get to pick your party leader, so the guy that's actually doing all the killing. So in this case, it gives you different starting equipment, because they'll just like offload their stuff to you when you start. And you get like a different sort of grid setup, which again we'll look at. So if we take like the rogue, for instance, we're going to get a dagger, a little shield, and some key. And instead of like a default 5x5, we kind of lose the centerpiece and then have this like extra little pocket thing. So let's just hop in and we'll kind of look at what this looks like. So on the right-hand side, oh, it looks really laggy on the screen, but on the right-hand side, that is kind of the enemy loot pile. So anything in there gets summed up with its stats down here. So it has a total of 1 attack and 1 defense. And on our side, the grid over there, we have 0 and 0 at the moment. So basically, our best defense right now is to just take what they have. So you can see if I highlight the dagger here, it's got 1 attack. And if I bring it into our inventory, now we have 1 attack. And I'll do the same with the shield. This key, got nothing, no stats right now, but maybe it'll unlock something later, so we might as well hold on to it. And we have this extra little pocket space anyway, so we'll just kind of grab it. And okay, so the rogue's giving us our stuff, and now we're going to start fighting things. So we're going to the goblin camp first, and the rogue is going ahead and slaughtering a bunch of goblins, and a bunch of items are dropping out here. So pretty easy right now, early game, we have lots of space. Our best defense is literally to just take everything, so no problems there. There we go. And so we have 4 attack to their 0 defense, so we're going to do this 4 damage straight up to them. So that's pretty easy. No problems there. And they're going to keep dropping some stuff. Okay, so we have some more daggers. Might be kind of hard to see, but there's this little kind of glowy thing on this shield here. It's very inspired by like the Minecraft enchantment kind of visual. So this is an enchanted item. So it's called a plywood shield, and it gives us 3 defense, which is great. But maybe you can't read it with the screen, but basically it says it's a limited enchantment. So after 2 turns, it's going to get destroyed. Which again really is totally fine for us. We might as well just hold on to it. But we've got to keep in mind that they will get destroyed eventually. So let's just keep grabbing stuff. Okay. And we're gonna drop some more items here. Our inventory is getting pretty full, so we might have to start making some choices soon. Okay, a bunch of daggers, a bunch of arrows, which are kind of do nothing, so we can just kind of ignore those right now. We're going to do 8 damage. They only have 13 health, so might as well just hit them. Pretty easy. But you saw our 2 plywood shields there just broke because that enchantment on them. And since last time, we've changed the way the fights work. So this is now kind of like structured almost like a Slay the Spire way, where the enemies kind of have phases in them. So because their health is low, they're kind of panicking now and spawning a bunch of really strong shields. So we can just kind of yoink those anyway. We are going to do 3 damage here, so we'll just go ahead and do it. Or 4, rather. And then we have enough to just kill them, so let's just go ahead and do that. Boom. Okay. So we won our first encounter, and a couple of things are going to happen. Firstly, some new items are dropping. So, think of it like the guy cleared out the goblin camp, and now there's like a special chest at the end, so we'll look at those in a second. On the left-hand side, our grid has a bunch of pluses on it. So this is going to be kind of like a roguelike type thing, so eventually there'll be like shops and stuff, but for now it just lets us upgrade our grid. We have 3 spots, which is not clear at all, but it is how it works. So we might as well open up the middle, and maybe like these 2 spots here or something. And the new loot, let's take a look. So there's this magic ring, which has 2 enchantments on it. The first one is the bound enchantment. So as soon as it's placed in your inventory, you can't move it ever again. And that was actually suggested last time I was here, so thank you whoever did that, which I appreciate. And then the second one is the adjacency enchantment. So anything connected to it is going to get a +1 attack, +1 defense. So where we position is really important. We just kind of opened up the middle, so just put it right there is perfect. And if we look at like the dagger, for instance, if you can see up there, it's got +1 attack, 0 defense, or like that's the default stats. And then below that is now it's got +1, +1. So it'll show like a combination of all of the bonuses which can stack. But yeah, so we have that guy, and there's also this new sword, which is the True North sword. So I mentioned this kind of briefly in the presentation last time, but the idea is it has the directional enchantment. So the way that it's facing in your inventory is going to affect its stats. Not sure what that was about. But so yeah, if it's facing up, it gets +1 attack. If it's facing any other direction, it gets -1. So like we can kind of play around with orientation, which we can just, but lucky we have the space, so it's easy. We just get the +1, no problem. And the last thing we can do, which again is also not clear, is because the loot pile is going to continuously grow, we actually have the ability to destroy some stuff. So we get 5, just because I added this literally this morning. So let's get rid of some of their best stuff. So we don't want them to have that good shield anymore. We can leave the key, it does nothing. So let's just get rid of some daggers. That's fine. Cool. All right. Next up, okay, we're in the skeleton camp, and let's see what they have. So they have more arrows, which again do nothing, but they have a bow. And the bow has the synergy enchantment on it. So the way this one works is it looks for any arrows in the inventory, and it gets +1 attack. So they have a lot of arrows, which is really bad for us. So let's just steal it instead. And so I'm going to do a lot of rearranging here. I've actually never had this many arrows before, which is kind of weird. Okay, we stole all of them. Now we have a +6 bow, which is pretty sweet. So we can hit them really hard, actually. 3 minutes, okey-dokey. More arrows. Let's keep stealing arrows. They're very helpful. Okay, super close to dead, which is awesome. Yeah, no problem. They have shields, but we have still a ton of attack, so that's fine. All right, skeletons are down. Let's see what they drop. Okay, they drop a couple things. The first thing that's going to be really helpful for us, actually, is this quiver. So again, this has the adjacency enchantment, kind of like the ring, but it's special in that it only applies to the bow. The ring applies to everything, but this one gives bows +3. So if we put that in our inventory, then we are going to have like a really powerful bow. So let's move some stuff and make sure that's attached. So now our bow has all of the arrows plus the adjacency bonus. And actually, if we're even smarter, we can do it like this. And now it's also got the ring, right? So where you place stuff really starts to matter. Okay, a couple other random items that they dropped. The first one is the glass cannon. So it has 10 attack, which is super powerful, but actually -5 defense. So it actually kind of hurts you. And it's also limited, so you only get 1 shot with it. And this last one is just a little homage to actually this. This is the Slay Intel. It's got pretty good stats, and if you happen to know what the description's referencing, then bonus points to you. So let's grab the glass cannon. Why not? Okay, and we're just about out of time, so it's perfect because we're going to the final encounter of this little demo, the demons. And the demons are coded to just drop literally everything else, so I can talk about it. Crazy, wow, such good loot. Okay, so really quick, run down some of the different items. The dragon egg, 0 stats, and actually pretty big. It's a 2x2, so it takes a lot of space. But it's got this transform ability, so if you hold on to it for 5 turns, it has to be in your inventory, it actually transforms into a really powerful little dragon. So there's like this idea of, you're kind of burning inventory space now to get something really good down the line. There's this snowball, which has the evolving enchantment, where every turn it gains an attack. So it snowballs, right? It's 1, then 2, then 3, then 4. So it starts to really do a lot of damage. And obviously this is all configurable and things, but this guy here is just kind of a weird idea where it's like a Halo bubble shield that went through some magic spell and ended up in medieval times. So 99 defense, super strong, but you only get 1 turn with it. And so like they have 111 defense, so I'm just gonna try hitting them, and it probably won't do anything. But you can see that bubble kind of popped there. And yeah, so that's kind of the general idea. We've just been exploring this idea of like deeper mechanics before we kind of went broader with like the roguelike stuff. And I think that is pretty much everything with 3 seconds. So yeah, there we go. Thanks, guys.